Social Media University. Sandy, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited for this one because I've been a long time consumer of your TikTok content, but I don't know too much about you. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to pick your brain. And so for the people who know you from TikTok but don't know you, the person, can you give me a little bit of the elevator pitch of who Sandy is and how she got to where she is today?
Yeah, for sure. So, I am from Taiwan and born and raised there. Came here to study at university in Boston, currently live here as well. And I started my first business, small business at 19. Really born out of my love for dogs and fashion. And it's not always sexy, but I also needed the money at the time as well. So I started out with drop shipping and then started generating some revenue and start hand sewing all my bandana and collar and leashes and everything and to ship it out to the customer. And then finally got it big enough to get an actual production. And from there, I had that business for 2.5 years, sold it to one of my friends, and then I jumped on TikTok end of May last year. I wasn't going to go to Instagram because my friends and family are there. So I was like, okay, TikTok is like perfect spot where I can just show my face and do my thing. So I got there and starting to see there's a group of people who are inspiring to be entrepreneur and doesn't know how to get there and doesn't know where to find mentors. So I came up with a second company, Small Business Tips, where we come up with e-learning portal for these amazing young entrepreneurs to find mentors, connect with peers, and just learn and grow together.
Amazing. Amazing. So I didn't know that you started off in drop shipping. So I'd love to hear more about that experience. What was the product you were selling? How did you learn all that stuff? How'd that go?
Well, I didn't like dropshipping.
Okay, why
I,
not?
I didn't, yeah, I didn't like dropshipping because I'm an OCD person. I like to have control of everything, right?
Mhm.
And with dropshipping, it's harder to control where your product go to and when does it go to everywhere. But how I learned to go about it is there at the time YouTube was huge where you can learn about dropshipping. So that's where I learned about everything. I utilized Orbolo for my first dropshipping. I dropshipped dog collar, bandanas, anything dog related. It's basically like a Petco store online. But it's very unaesthetically pleasing, right? And as a woman, I love fashions. I want everything to look a certain way, however I like it. So I ended up once I got enough money out of it, I started doing my own thing.
Cool. That's amazing. So when you transitioned over to the TikTok side of things and starting your business that you have now, did you come to TikTok planning to start that business, or did that just kind of come from being on the platform?
No, not at all. I honestly didn't think that I would have this following. I really got on there just to share and just to create, you know. 'Cause for a long time I hide behind the scene because I was afraid of my accent. I was afraid of my imposter syndrome, and that's always been a biggest barrier for me to get on in front of the camera and start talking. And if you see my earlier day of TikTok, I just point at things. I don't even talk. And lately, it's took me 3 months to get comfortable enough to start talking in front of the camera. So when I got on there, I really didn't expect much, but then I think a lot of things that are beautiful just come out with unexpected, situations.
100%. And you led me to my next question. Whereas, like, even when you were making just the videos where you just pointed, they were so well put together for TikTok. So, can you walk through one, like the idea creation process, and then how you make a concept into like a very visually impactful video?
Yeah. So, I came up with the concept because at the time I was kind of lazy to do anything else. And I was like, what can I do that are fast, beautifully executed, and
Hmm.
get my point across efficiently and like easily to read? And that way I was pointing, and then I integrated that with popular music at the time to get on the trend. And through that, I think because I also love fashion, right? I put myself well together and I dress a certain way that I love, and people follow me because of my tip, but also of my personality and my fashions. And that combined together, that put together a piece of content with personalities where people really like to interact with.
Yeah. And it's always so hard hitting. There's always value taken from each piece. So I remember when I started seeing your stuff, like I followed pretty well right away. So you're obviously crushing it there. Where do you come up with all these ideas? Because you're always posting great content.
Thank you. Well, I always have creator block. Right now, I'm actually on one because
Okay.
content evolve all the time on TikTok, and if you don't evolve as a creator, you will get it behind, and people will forget about that, right? So, a lot of time I consume a lot of piece of content in order to generate a lot of different creativity. I would say 80% of my time is consuming, and 20% is creating and planning everything.
Wow. Okay, so when you go through kind of like your social listening when you're consuming for ideas, is there certain things that you're looking for? Are there triggers that like you think like that's a great piece of content or that's a great idea?
Yes, I always consume with intention, or else you would be lost in the sea of information, especially with TikTok, right? And I teach my algorithm what I like to see. So what I mean by teaching the algorithm is just like interacting with the contents that I love, hashtag that I like, creators that I like. So it teaches the algorithm and learn your behavior in a way. So all my contents on my For You page are business tips and tricks, motivational speaking, Gary V's and stuff like that. So they already know what I like to see. And from there, I would see particularly what type of content are popping off and then generating and just save them and then study the list that I saved and why are they popping off, basically.
Okay. And you also mentioned that tactic on one of your most recent TikToks where you can kind of train the algorithm to start showing your content to the right people. Can you explain how you came across that idea and then how someone could do it?
Yeah, I stumbled upon that idea when I first started out by accident. I was just looking at other people's creators similar to myself and seeing who followed them. And I started interacting with their followers, my similar creators' followers, and then they started to follow me back. And I was like, wait, what's going on? And then I realized because I'm following similar pieces of content that they already follow, they're more likely to follow you back, right? So that it actually teaches the algorithm who do you want to be your target audience and where to put your contents to as well.
And that's huge because the TikTok algorithm is super powerful. So if you give it a bit of ammunition, it can really spread.
Yeah, TikTok has been learning so fast. When I first started out, it took me 5 days to teach the algorithm when back in May. And then I started realize, wow, every time I click something, my For You page literally changed a little bit. And now they've just been changing every time when you click something. So it's so easy to teach the algorithm right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's so fascinating too, because a lot of people, they want to grow and they want to do so in a targeted way. So that's super powerful. But a lot of people, like so many people that still want to create content, they haven't made anything. So what would your advice be to say a small business owner or really anyone who wants to create content on TikTok? How can they get started?
And people are gonna hate me when I say this, but just get started, right? And
Yeah.
I can say that, but giving you more of a more practical tips, I would say study other people's content first, and then from there see what is great, and what type of content works based on their views, and maybe you can not copy but create similar type of contents, adding your own flair to it, and that's going to help you get started, right? It's going to give you a direction to go into, but ultimately you have to get through your own hump of fears and get started.
Yeah. I think that the easier you make it for yourself, the more likely you are to do it and to do it on a consistent basis. So
Yeah.
you've had a bunch of videos that have really popped off. What was your first like viral video?
Interestingly, I don't have viral video. If you can, what do you think is the highest view that I've gotten?
I'd guess at least a few 100,000, if not more.
Yeah, but I have a few that I've only one hit 1 million. The only one
Really?
view. Yeah, interestingly, I never really gone viral, quote unquote viral on TikTok where it's like 10K or 10 million or something like that.
Yeah.
The reason why is because I'm super consistent and people know that if they want to see piece of content from business tips or tricks, they come to me. They know that I will be there and I push out content that they want to see. And then I read their comments based on that. I know what my audience wanted and crave. So I really never base off of myself on virality, and I don't think that I will ever, to be honest, create something that are viral because that's just not my content. That's not my audience. That's not where I want to communicate across.
Yeah. So because you're within a niche and you're providing value to a specific type of people, like there's obviously a cap to that size of audience. But somebody hearing that from the outsider perspective, 1 million views sounds pretty viral to me. So what was that video, and why was that one so successful?
Got it. So I would say telling a story. The first one that I did is I told my story. I was doing the little pointy thing, telling my story, how I started my business at 19. And people like hearing story. They like to feel related. You can tell your story, but make them feel related. Give them a piece of content that are motivating to them. Like, just do it, or if I can do it, you can do it too, or some sort of call to action that they can feel. So storytelling is a powerful thing, and if you can do it well, I can almost guarantee you can pop up on TikTok.
Yeah, storytelling is so important, and
Yeah,
even
if you
more,
do it right.
of course, yeah, absolutely, it's all about doing it right. So what are some, but like storytelling in general is a super powerful skill, but there's a unique way to do it for TikTok because it's so micro. It's such a micro content form, and you're really good at this. So how did you become such an effective micro storyteller? Because I think there is a difference.
Yeah, so attention span is short, so you have to capture their attention at the first or 3 second. Either that be something, I always include you, or something that's captivating right away, either claps or something like that. So get their attention first, and then start spinning what is this piece of content going to help you? Because everyone is kind of innately selfish, right? So they want to see what's in it for them. So put them first, give them a little meat and bones of what's going to happen, and then add your the only thing that come the last is going to be like the most important thing, so they're going to stay till the last second. So if I'm introducing a tools or a business tips or tricks, I put the most important things at the last point, so they stay until the last seconds.
That makes sense. So you capture them in the first few seconds, and then you keep giving them value, but you make sure the climax is right at the end.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so we've been teasing your content left and right. So what is your handles? Where can people find all this stuff?
So my handle is smallbusinesstips_. Super cheesy, I know. I don't know how I come up with that. One day I just you know what, I'm just gonna call myself that. No one's gonna know who I am, so it's fine.
Awesome. So go follow that account. It'll be linked in the description box or the show notes, however you're consuming this. So the next piece that I'm really fascinated with is how you've essentially made your skills of creating great TikTok content and providing value, and you've transitioned that into a full-fledged business. So can you walk through what that process is like from transitioning a TikTok audience into a successful business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm very lucky to have a great community behind me, and they're super supportive. And through that, I was able to communicate a lot of information, and I always focus on giving. So it's really started out with a Facebook group. I created a Facebook group, and I drive people from my TikTok to a Facebook group because people wanted more information, and TikTok's only 15 seconds. I couldn't give all my information there. And from there, I was like, okay, well, people are so engaging. How can I somehow even give more and then also feed myself, So I started to, by accident, one girl messaged me on my DM when I was on IG Live. I was like, I want to start a mentorship program. And this girl messaged me on my DM. She's like, let me help you. How can I help you start a mentorship program? And I was like, let's do it. And I hop on a call, and I was like, let me get more people together, and let's just do this together. So I started a TikTok. I was like, I'm looking for interns, creating this great program together. Then I got 200 applications for internship. Insane. I was in interviews all day, and then pulled together these amazing group of people, 10 amazing people, and we just started creating this program, 12-week program, super small. I was like, do I even need this many people? Then I started to think about more things that we can achieve. So that's kind of how the business started booming together. It really come from a problem I see on TikTok. People want to learn, doesn't know how to, and then create a community, build a team, and then foster from there. So it's just an insane journey.
No kidding. So Facebook group, why was that the logical place to build the community?
Well, if I have to do it again, I wouldn't build it on Facebook group. If you ask me that, yeah, because Facebook group is great to funnel and it's easy. Everyone have Facebook, so at the time seems like the right decision. And I didn't know any other group that existed out there. If I do it again, I'll probably build it on Circle SO, Mighty Network, or Patreon. Right,
Okay.
very different platform. But I just knew that I need to bring these people into a more intimate space.
Yeah. No, that's amazing, and obviously you saw that opportunity and ran with it. So when you're interviewing 200 people, like that's insane to me. How did you know who to pick and who aligned with your vision for the business?
If you ask my team, they will say that I'm a horrible interviewer. I narrowed that 200 down to 25 people, I
Okay.
think, and I interviewed it all different people. And what I really look for is the passion and the fire inside. They're craving for more than the 9 to 5. And I think I'm a very good spot for, I know who's baloney and who's not and who's
Yeah.
real. And I love the givers. And the only thing I ask them is that, are you ready to give these people just what they need constantly? Because that's what creation is, right? And they're like, I'm here to learn. I'm here to do anything that you need me to do. And that's it for me. Literally, my interview was 15 minutes, and if you're in, you're in.
Really?
Yeah, and these people have stuck by me for the past month, so that's been amazing.
That's amazing. Well, congrats. Obviously, you've got a well-oiled machine over there. That's amazing. So, for you and your business, you deal with small businesses every single day. What are some of the most common problems or bottlenecks that you see small business owners coming into?
I'll say two. No operational workflow. Delegation is a problem because as a small business owner, you want to be hands-on with everything and you're a
Yes.
control freak. And if you do that, you aren't able to see the big picture and you can skill. So operation is a huge one for them. Second one is marketing. You fixated on the product way too much, but you forget if you don't have marketing, doesn't matter how good of a product you are, no
Yeah.
one's gonna buy it, right? So I think that's the two biggest problem of a lot of small businesses.
Okay. And so, are your programs geared towards solving those problems?
Well, my program, the 12-week program, we ran it once and then we kind of shut it down for now. And we're really focusing building on the e-learning proto that we're building right now. So really hoping to reach a bigger audience where just, the 12-week program, I'm only taking 10 people, right? So that's not a lot of people to help. So we're trying to help more broader audience.
Makes sense. Yeah, far more scalable that way, and you can help way more people, probably
Yeah.
at more achievable price points, all that good stuff. So frequently I get asked, or I get rather told, when I tell people to get on TikTok, they're like, "Oh, well, my business doesn't belong on TikTok." Uh,
Yeah.
what would you say to those people?
Well, okay. So if your business doesn't belong on TikTok, why is all the big brands on TikTok, right? Even tech companies on TikTok. Why is Shopify on TikTok? Why is Orbolo on TikTok? Why isn't your business on TikTok? Is your business bigger than them, right? That would be my answer. If these big brands see the value of TikTok, wouldn't that mean that you should see it too, right?
You
Yeah.
think? So
Yeah.
a lot of business owners, they blame like their fear of creation or lack of time to create content as the reason why they're not on there. What's a potential solution to remedy those problems?
Baby step. Content creations and putting yourself out there is not easy, and not everyone are able to do it, but wanting to do it is another thing, and really trying to do it, right? Putting yourself out a baby step. Like myself, I started out with pointing things. It's so easy to do that. You can get out there, you can point at things, or even if you don't feel like you want to show yourself, there's content out there that doesn't show themselves. They just show their products and tell them a story through that products. So there's so many different type of contents. If you feel like there's a barrier between you and the camera, there's things that you can do that you don't have to put yourself out there like 100% yet. Start with 10, start with 5, just slowly go there.
Yeah, I think that's crucial, is to not overwhelm yourself, because if you do that, you're probably going to fall off and just give up completely. Whereas if you set yourself up with sustainable and realistic starting points, then you can ramp up slowly as you become more comfortable. So I really like that. how do you pick which sounds to use for your videos?
Yes, there's two ways to go about this. There's one place called the talk board. The talk board, it basically generates like the top 100, I think, sound or something like that. And it also has a Discord group that you can join. So people share like what are the top trends and top sound that you can join. So that's one. And the second one is that you can scroll through your For You page. And if you see a sound that pop off more than like 3 to 4 times, do that sound. That's probably an indicator of like it's popping off. Actually, there's a third way. Follow a large account. Charlie D'Amelio, the Hype House, all these large followings, the trendsetter. They're gonna show you what's coming soon, or they're gonna show you what is trending right now.
Amazing. Yeah, because that's obviously a huge part of growing on TikTok. So that's super valuable resources. I was writing that down. So thanks for dropping that.
Yeah,
And
sure.
the question that I have for you is, what is the master vision that Sandy has in your mind? Like, where do you see this business going? What's the ultimate dream if everything goes your way?
Yeah, my hope is whenever everyone asks me that question, is my hope is just helping people, right? The more people that I can help, the better. And I don't ever want to derive from that goal or missions. And sometimes when you're in the success or you're running a business, you get directed and distracted a lot, and I want to make sure that's always my goal. Doesn't matter 5 years how much money I have, or it doesn't matter how big the business is, that's always my goal.
Yeah, it's very mission driven, and you can tell that, and it comes through with your content. I think the best businesses operate like that. So on the note of your business, you have an upcoming event very soon, right?
Yeah. Yep, we have a great event, e-commerce summit that's coming up on February 13th, and you will be speaking on it as well. So I'm really excited for that. So it's really an event directed for e-commerce business owners, and it's the small business owner, the small people, right? We want to make sure that they have the resources and tool that they need to operate and skill themselves as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure this this episode comes out before that. So anybody listening to this, where can they register for that?
You can register it on our website at sbtbysandylin.com. And just we have a huge banner on the homepage, so you would not miss that.
You won't miss it.
Yeah, you would not miss it.
That's amazing. Well, I'm super excited to speak at that personally. So definitely go sign up for that if you're listening to this. And one of the bigger questions that I have for you that I wrote down here is that in a few videos, you talked about like how many people deal with imposter syndrome. So how did you personally overcome that? And what is kind of like a guide or steps that people can do? I know you mentioned baby steps, but beyond that, how can people conquer imposter syndrome?
I feel like people would never truly conquer imposter syndrome, and myself including. I think it will always be there, but you can always learn to like it and learn to make that into a force for yourself. I think that imposter syndrome comes from fear, right? And where does fear come from? Fear comes from desire, your deepest desire things, and you're afraid of not being able to get it. That create imposter syndromes. So recognize that first thing, what is your deepest desire? And then be okay with that first. And then from there, I think that fear will slowly go away. Always recognize where is the origin of all the fears. That's always been helping me for everything. My fear of putting myself on social media is because of my accent. And I recognize it. And I think that the more I talk about it, the more I speak about it, the less fear I have. And I kind of take away that power from them.
That's very powerful. So you kind of run into the fear, and that eventually it doesn't become easy, but it gets easier and it's less of a factor.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Awesome. That is amazing. So you already mentioned one like very unique thing that I haven't heard anybody really talk about from strategy point of view, which is like training the TikTok algorithm. But is there any other tactic, strategy, or hack that you're using on social media that you feel not many people are?
I think content planning and also having fun with it, because content planning and creating content take a lot of time and take a lot of effort. So if you have a good content strategies out, I always create 3 to 4 pillars that you can utilize, and that goes with a lot of different social media content planning, right? And go with TikTok as well. A motivational pillar, an educational one, a how-to videos, a trendy video, and have those content pillar planned out. Save all the videos that you can and start putting all the video into these pillars. And when you're creating contents, you can easily utilize that as well.
Amazing. So come with a plan, stick with it, stick to it, make your life easy.
Yep, exactly.
Amazing. Okay, well, that's all the questions I have for you today. I'd love for you to come back again down the road if you're open to it.
Of course.
Was there anything else that we forgot to mention today?
No, thank you so much for having me. This is so fun, and I love seeing your background because it feels like I'm in your TikTok video somehow as well.
That's awesome. Well, I look forward to the event. Anybody listening to this, go follow everything that we mentioned. Everything, every event, her business, everything is linked in the description. So go check that out. Thank you once again, Sandy. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.